you're the leader, you're the voice instead of the founder being the voice. And so the one-on-ones that the founder has with their lead team have to change, and they have to be thinking more about mentoring. They have to be thinking more about what training their folks might need. Maybe they have that knowledge and they can pass it along. Maybe they need to get them into some kind of leadership training program so that they're learning other skills, but they really are now focused on rounding out the skills specifically as a leader in the organization.
Yeah, that's great stuff, Tony. You know, another thing that makes a ton of sense in preparing somebody for this is job rotation. So literally letting them go through that process of seeing the organization from different angles. And that's pretty common in Fortune 500. But when you talk about small to medium-sized businesses, you don't see that as much, right?
Right. Yeah. And so what we'll do is, early on, if we're talking about EOS and we're using an accountability chart and we've identified who's responsible and who those key leaders are, well, then right away, when you're in this spot where you don't necessarily have a leadership team, that it has very distinct roles, to your point about how a Fortune 500 would, in a smaller business, everybody's pitching in, everybody's helping. The leader, the founder's been the one responsible for everything. So it is a great way where we'll talk about, okay, well, for the next 6 months, for the next year, this person A is going to be responsible for marketing, and person B is going to be responsible for operations. Because again, you don't have people that are the leaders of those necessarily, but you're learning the business and you're learning all the parts of the business that way. And so knowing that you're going to trade off, it does definitely get you in that spot. And again, what a founder should always be thinking about is that there's multiple people that they're grooming to be leaders, right? So it's not that when we talk about succession, it does not mean who is my replacement tomorrow. That's not where we are, especially when we're talking early like this, where you're just starting to think more about a leadership team. Well, then you need to have multiple people that you're bringing along, that you're bringing up, that are starting to fill that. So yes, doing job swapping like that, responsibility swapping, definitely puts you in that spot where more people are learning different facets of the business.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So listen, this is super helpful. I hope everybody takes this information, starts thinking about tomorrow. What can I do? What could I test out? What could I start putting in place? But the reality is that's pretty challenging, and it can also come off the wrong way. And so at minimum, if we can help out just with talking through how do you start to do some of these things, we're happy to do that. Do you have any parting thoughts, Tony, in terms of what you would do if you were going to start tomorrow and you were CEO, founder, and you were starting to think about, like, I need to put something in place so I can get to the answer? Any parting thoughts on, how somebody should get started and what they should do first in their plan for succession?
Yeah, if this thing feels too big, schedule a 2-week vacation. Get yourself out of the country. Get away, man. Just get away, and you will have to figure out how things will go without you, and it'll make you realize what things you need to work on when you get back.
That's a great piece of advice.